this is any better. So let me just do my tech checks. We have been having some fun and games with kind of broadband speeds today. Goodness knows why. So let's just see what this is like on my profile first of all. It's is it any good? It's sort of okay. Yes. No, oh, that's the one I tried earlier, isn't it? Okay, let's see what we've got here. Oh, still a bit rubbish, isn't it? I'm sorry about this, folks. I was hoping that this would be an easy fix, but let's just see if it's working. The joys and vagaries of live video never changed. Oh, it's better. Probably good enough. Good enough. Good enough. Okay, so we're gonna just crack on and see how we go. So this is what I wanted to share with you earlier. If you saw me pop up a few minutes ago, just share my screen. So basically what I've got is a system for creating social media content that starts with me doing a sort of on topic, loosely scripted brain dump into a private Slack channel. That then is through a series of automations sent over to Airtable, where it is kind of logged, and I will share my Airtable. So if you're not familiar with Airtable, it's just basically a very, very sort of fancy, just basically a very fancy sort of, let's do the entire screen. A very fancy spreadsheet, which you can do sort of automations in, and it integrates into all sorts of other interesting stuff. So you can do some pretty exciting stuff with it. So I'm using make.com. Let's just log in there. And is Airtable is, oh my God, it is chugging along, isn't it? Chugging along. Here we go. It's decided to do something. It's just see if this decides to pop up again. No, it's just going really, really slowly, isn't it? Oh my God. So frustrating when these things happen. I've been itching to share this, but it is really, really struggling with the with whatever's going on with my connection today. I don't know whether it's the system or what, but I am definitely feeling the pinch since we moved house. We've kind of gone back onto just coming through the telephone line as opposed to being on fibre, which was fantastic. But, the very definition of problems of the modern age. So so this is the automation that sits in the first part of this process. So this takes the information, the audio information, basically, that I kind of put on Slack. So in the Slack channel, I will kind of, if I go into this one, Speak to Social, I will basically, according to a sort of a script and some loose ideas around that come from the content plan, I will speak my brains into this kind of into this Slack channel. It then goes through a series of automations where that recording is automatically downloaded. It is then processed through ChatGPT and goes back over to Airtable, which is the kind of the first stage of the process. So we are kind of taking the, and I'll just show you quickly the Airtable base. So the speak bit, so the first bit, that the kind of transcription comes and drops into this field here. The social part of this then is created in this second stage. So it goes through a it basically takes that transcription and then chops it up and assesses it according to a number of different prompts and considerations. So that initial script is then prepared for LinkedIn and Facebook. It's then chopped up into tweets, and then a script is written for an Instagram reel, and it is then created. Then it was also prepared as as quotes to put into a kind of an Instagram carousel, because we're not creating just written content in this. We are creating automated video content, and we are creating automated imagery as well. So video content, written content, and kind of the kind of content that comes out of that goes on to sort of visual platforms like Instagram. So that process then turns this into, if I go into the approval stage, it then turns it into a bunch of things for approval. So I can now go in to this stage and we can edit the stuff that's come out of it, because like all this stuff, this is just, we're not using this without a human looking at it. I will say that there's a lot of bespoke coding in this. So a lot of this is kind of, the reason why this is complex, and this kind of is the thing that we actually help other people deploy. So we're going to be offering this out as a done for you service, so we can kind of implement this stuff into people's businesses for them. But there's quite a lot of specific setup that goes into this. So it's got a real script, it's got tweets, it's got all the stuff, and we go in this and we look at it and it comes into review, and then we would you'd choose the drop down and either go into you put it into approved. So once you've reviewed the content and approved it, it goes into sort of a bin for being ready to be published. Now, this is a bunch of published stuff that is due to go out in a couple of hours' time on the automation, and that once it's approved, it is there, it is ready to go. So that is the first. So that first stage takes you through that process. So that's just basically me. The only thing I need to do in this phase, in this stage, is talk at Slack and then check the final outputs to see if they are, if they make sense, and then switch any ones that are ready for, need to be approved. Those get switched over into the approval space, ready to be deployed. So that's step one. Let's go back. So once that's happened, we need something that's then going to take these approved messages and send them over to for auto publishing. There you go. I can see there's something that needs to be assessed in the log file. Then it basically goes through this process. So it is then brought, those posts, any that have been approved, are then brought in from Airtable, and there's an automation, some coding, there's some scripts that run that pull that information into a webhook and then push it through this auto publish sequence. So we've got straightforward auto-publishing to LinkedIn and Facebook. The carousel posts then go through to a service called Placid, which is brilliant. You can set up templates and API stuff, and that will then auto-publish through from Placid to Instagram. The really interesting bit of this actually is the video side of it. So I use 11 Labs to create a voice clone of me, and then we drag in some pre-edited video content, some B-roll stuff. It then takes the script that came out of the first stage and then pushes it through something called JSON to video. This is a video creation service which will take footage and will turn it into a video ready to be used. So it uses my voice clone to create an audio of the script, and then that script is then put alongside the footage. So we are creating new video content in my voice and then publishing that out as a reel. So that's an auto reel process. Then stuff goes out to Twitter, and then finally it goes out to Airtable as a kind of as a final act. So this is kind of some of the stuff that I'm working on in the sort of in the space that sort of occupies that intersection between AI and automation. And I think this is really exciting, because it's giving us as business owners a capacity to produce content, quality content at scale, but in a way that doesn't require kind of a lot of heavy lifting, particularly. Now, I will say the setup of this takes time, and we are going to be offering out some kind of done for you service stuff around this. So I'm currently just tweaking this and making sure it kind of works, and adding in a few extra automations into it, because it really does something very exciting, and it's just something which I think will benefit a lot of business owners who are at that point of growth where they are able to invest in a system like this, but it allows them to get that information out of their heads and onto social media, so that they are growing their visibility in a really kind of seamless way. But yeah, like I say, it's quite it's a bit more of a complex situation to sort of to share, because there's quite a lot of points in this which require sort of bespoke bits of code and all, various things that need to happen in order to make this work, that are tricky just to sort of deploy without having a relatively au fait human being to sort of help it through. But I thought that would be quite fun to share. I'm sorry my connection's so rubbish, but I really am very excited about this. So you'll see this kind of being used by me quite a lot. So there we go. See you tomorrow. Bye.